How exciting. I hope you're having a wonderful time with friends and family and that you have a wonderful Christmas tomorrow celebrating with your family. Hello, thank you for joining me today. My name is Andria Bieber here with artbeads.com. So glad that you're here with me today and with all of us at Art Beads. The crew should be joining here in a minute. I popped down a few minutes early because I thought, it's a holiday. Hello, Michelle. So, I was racking my brain yesterday trying to figure out what to do today because I wanted to kind of do a technique and a fun necklace to make. And I wanted to try some more leather. I know last Tuesday I did some leather. I was like, let's do something more with leather because leather can sometimes be fun, maybe slightly intimidating if you're not quite sure what you want to do with it. And also, sometimes it's just fun to explore different techniques for clasps on necklaces. So I thought, hey, this would be a fun idea to do for a necklace or a bracelet. You could pick which one you want. We can try both. For starters, I have this wonderful piece of leather and I pre-knotted it so I could demonstrate how we're going to do a sliding knot today. And then I'll show you how to do one and create a necklace, and then also just the same concept for a bracelet. But so far, I hope everyone's doing okay. We got 7 people on. We can just hang here for a minute till more people join. How are you doing, Michelle? Happy Tuesday. Happy Christmas Eve. Hello. I hope that everyone has a great Christmas and a great Christmas Eve. Okay, so I will be working with 2 different gemstones today and a copper pendant and a leather, as well as, hi Laura, how are you? Oh my gosh, I know you girl, what's going on? How you doing? Hi, welcome to the show. I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Michelle? I went to the gym this morning and then went grocery shopping and then was like, I have to hurry up and get my stuff ready. So then here we are. Okay. Hi, Kat. Good afternoon. Happy Christmas Eve. I hope you guys are doing well. And some of the other thing is some of you guys might know how to do this technique already. So then we can just have fun hanging out and celebrating the holiday together. Hi, Pauline. Merry Christmas. Hi, Leah. Hi, Lori. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I hope you guys have a great day tomorrow. Okay, well, I will flip the camera over and just really quick, I can read comments at the bottom on artbeads.com. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, I will have to capture you separately. If you have any questions or if an item is discontinued or like out of stock, just send an email to the Art Beads staff. We'll get back to you on out of stock issues and when they'll be back available. Hello, Sue. Merry Christmas. And, if you have any items in your checkout today, please check out before the end of the show. Did I capture everything? I think I did. All right, so I'm going to flip the camera around. Hello, Diane. So we can have some fun working with leather knotting. Woohoo. Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to flip my camera over. Yay. All right, cool. Here we go. I'm going to move this down a little bit so we can zoom in. Okay, so I am working with, let me zoom in a little bit more if I can. Okay. Just freeze. Sorry. Sometimes Siri picks up. I swear I have Siri off, but it still tries it. So like last week, I brought up this really pretty crazy lace agate that's faceted 10 millimeter. And I just love this stone. It's really pretty color. I mean, it's great for like earth tones. It has like browns and grays and brick reds and yellows and oranges. I think it's fabulous. And so then I thought, ooh, you know what I'll do is I'll mix in some citron with it. And I found this pendant. It's a really cool copper leaf pendant. Now this to me is probably more of a fall project, but you could use it year round. I mean, like if you're a nature person, I think this would be fun all the time. And then I wanted to work with leather cording. So I think this would be great for a necklace. So I wanted to show you guys, in case you didn't know, how to do an adjustable sliding knot on leather. So this works as like a way to tie off a necklace. So if you're wearing it and you're like, oh, I want to adjust the length as I'm wearing it. And you don't have to have a lobster clasp or anything with it unless you choose to. So it's just also great for a bracelet. So you can use the same concept for a bracelet, just using a lot less leather. And then you can just pull tight on a bracelet and also open it up a little bit and then slide your bracelet on or put it on, grab the two ends and pull, and then it tightens your bracelet. So some people do this using a tube when they knot it. I'm going to show you how to do it without. Now, if you prefer to use a tube, I can show you how to use that too. Sometimes it makes it a little bit easier, but on the offhand chance you don't have a tube form or like a straw laying around, I thought it's a good idea to learn how to do this knot without one. And it's not difficult. Anybody can try this. And it's a great way to just, again, make like an adjustable closure. So you can open it, close it, and it's a fun way to, just wear a necklace if you want to be able to shorten it, let's say. And then what we would do is take this portion and attach some jump rings and bead onto it. So for right now, I'm going to show you how to tie a knot. I'm going to put this off to the side. And I cut a piece that's a little bit larger today. And I had another piece, but my cats took off with it. So I found this one this morning. I was like, I have no idea. My cat Shadow literally opened this up and took off with the leather somewhere. So anyways, so what you want to do is you want to open it to about the size that you need to start out with. So if you're going for a bracelet, for example, you want to start off with the bracelet size that's going to work for you around your wrist and give yourself enough room to tie your knot. So we'll be doing a necklace. So I'm going to be using a little bit more today. So saying you want to have your necklace about this long on the back of your neck, let's go with, let's say 10 inches. That's 20 inches. So you want to have about 10 inches, let's say, length on the back of your neck to curve around like this. And then we can have a double-sided knot. So it just depends on how much space that you want. But for right now, what you do is you're going to grab your two ends and you're going to bring them together like this side by side with your leather. And you'll need a few inches of leather when you're doing this to be able to maneuver around for your knotting. So I'm going to start on one end. And again, they're going to like kind of float on top of each other like this. You have one end on the top, one end on the bottom. And if you're a beginner, leave yourself extra leather till you get the hang of it. Oh, you have a Luna too? Oh, that's so cool, Diane. My Luna was trying to disrupt my beading yesterday on the table as well. So I'm going to start with the top piece. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go underneath. I'm going to go around 3 times. And when you're doing this, it is a little tricky. You have to kind of hold it in place with your other hand to hold these loops in place so they don't open up, spill out, and fall apart. Now you also want to make sure the loops are the same size and that you have a small space in between the loops here and your other cording. So sometimes this takes a little bit of practice if you need a little bit more space because your loops are too tight. A way to kind of cheat is take your round nose pliers and just kind of plug it in there, form a little bit of a space. And once you have your 3 loops established and you have your center hole here and everything looks good, they're the same loop size, etc., you want to take your loose tail here and you're going to go around and we're going to go back through the end like so, and just kind of like take that tail and shove it through the center here like so. And while you're doing this, it is sometimes a little tricky. You just want to make sure that the loops that you just formed don't open up and explode and fall apart. Now, sometimes people will do this around a tube. So what I mean by that is they'll have the 2 pieces of leather like so, and they'll put a straw up here and wrap around the straw and then bring this through the straw center and pull. You could do that at home if you want to try that. I don't have any straws on me, sorry. So I was just going to demonstrate kind of how I do this. This is how you're just one way of doing it. So again, you just want to make your 3 loops like so. You want to make sure they're the same size. And then if you need a little bit of help, you can grab your round nose pliers and just kind of poke it through the middle. Make sure you have your center hole here ready to go. Okay, and then grab your tail, and we're just going to go around the back and slide it through. And I'm laughing because, of course, the minute I get on live, my cats start laughing in the background. Then you want to bring your tail through nice and tight and pull, and this will hold everything in place, and it will be a knot. So you just want to pull on that really well on both sides. So I have one side ready to go. So the next thing you want to do is you have this other loose side is you want to flip your leather over so the other side is on the top again, and we're going to repeat. Oh, we have a 25% off Christmas coupon available. So the Christmas code coupon is Xmas25, and you can save 25% off of your order. Awesome. And hello, Cindy. Okay, so you want to rotate this over and grab the top, and we're going to repeat the same thing again. So we're going to take our leather again and go 3 times over the top like so, except for that came out bad. Let's try it again. And you know what? You can take as many tries as you need to too. So go 3 times around. And then when I'm doing this too, I try really hard to make sure I'm forming loops that are the same size. And then again, if you need a little bit of space, you can just grab your round nose pliers. Also, make sure you have enough leather. You want to make sure you have enough tail, or else it will come apart. Let's try this again. All right. So, got to hold it in place and hold everything, kind of pinch it down like so. And we're going to form a loop. And when I'm going to, I make sure that they already have the right size hole in the center and that they match as I'm going around. So like you can fold your leather over to just make sure it has the space that you need as you're going. But when you're doing this, you want to make sure you have enough tail to cross it over, because if you don't, you won't be able to go back through and you have to start over again. So let's try it one more time. We're going to pull a little bit more leather out, go back over the top, and do it again, and go 3 loops. Like so. I tell you, every time I drink water right now, it makes me cough. Okay, so I'm going to go through here, make my loops a little bit larger, like so. All right, I'm going to bring my tail around and go back through the back, like so, and pull. And you want to pull it nice and tight. Again, this will make your knot. And then if you have too long of a tail, you can trim it, because you're not going to use this piece. This was just here to help you form the knot. You don't want to trim the center portion. So when you're pulling on your knots, you're going to be pulling on this section, and this will open your knot, but this is kind of inconsequential, so you can trim this off a little bit once you've made your tails. All right, cool. So you now have your 2 sliding knots, and you can kind of experiment too, to just kind of see how much space you need before you build your necklace, to determine how much leather you want to use, because maybe you don't want to have that big of a knot, or maybe you want to, or you could just do this for fun instead of Mad Libs, and you could just slide your knot back and forth. So I'm going to leave about this much space, and we have the top portion of our necklace ready to go. So this morning I was trying to figure out, I was like, okay, so how do you want to bead on this? Because if you have large hole beads, you can just bead on this directly. The leather, you could pick a 1.5 or 1 millimeter leather, for example, and use a large hole bead. Just bead on this directly, and then have your adjustable leather, and you could just have a necklace that you could slide over your neckline and take off. So, thank you. Yes. So, I mean, you could bead directly onto this if you had large hole beads, and then just slide it over your head and have necklace ready to go. So that's one option. The other option is, I've done that for a bracelet with large hole beads. It was a lot of fun. The other thing you can do is just grab some jump rings and attach, and then bead on this directly like so. And then this portion will be adjustable. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more space here. So like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually like fold this in half and make this my top center, and then add jump rings, and then bead this portion like this. So this whole section will go over your head, and then if you want to adjust it, you can do it like this on your neckline. So, okay, I'm gonna grab some jump rings. And I'm using Beading wire 49 strand 0.18 because it's a great width if you're using gemstones or heavier or larger beads. And you can cut it as long as you want. I think I'm going to make this, I don't know, maybe 12 inches. So to start, I'm going to use the #1 crimp. I have gold ones listed because it's what's available. But if you're using a crimp cover, nobody will know what color the crimp is because it will hide, so you'll be all right. And then I'm going to use a wire protector. These are great for longevity of your wire, especially if they're connected to a jump ring. It helps keep away from fraying and helps the wire life last a little bit longer. And it also makes it a smoother glide when it's on a jump ring, and it doesn't pull down directly on anything else. Now, if you have a friend with a metal allergy, you can bead onto the leather directly and skip any metal components. You're fine, Tanya. I'm glad you're here. Hello. You're not late. You're just fine. Merry Christmas Eve. Here we go. I am like down to my last crimp covers. I need to order some more. And I'm going to put a crimp cover over my crimp. It just kind of helps cover it and hide it, make it look a little bit fancier. And here we go. Awesome. And since I'm going directly onto the leather, I'm not going to use a large jump ring for this one. I'm just going to use a 6mm and then connect the jump ring and the leather and the wire together like so. Oop. Get that back on there. All right. So this will be the top neckline. And then we want to keep this centered, you know, it'll shift, that's all right. But this will be like the center portion on the back of your neck like this. And we're going to bead on this portion. So today I'm using some copper spacer beads. Do the front first, then the back. You can do it however you want to do it. I'm just doing this way for today. And I'm going to be using some 11-0, what's the right way to use a crimper tool? Oh, I can show you how to crimp again really quick. I'll be using 11-0 copper seed beads for spacer beads today. When I'm crimping, here, I'll do that again really quick. And I'm so glad you guys are here with me today. Thank you for spending part of your holidays with me. I really appreciate it. Okay. So this is how I crimp. I'm going to go back through here again. You want to make sure that the ends of your wire protectors are almost touching. So you want to trim, push them down just a little bit. And then I use the back first. And I crimp the whole crimp down with one. And then you want to rotate it onto its side. And then I use the front part. And I crimp it down again. And you want to have it make it look like kind of like a hamburger. So the two sides are touching. And the crimp is not cracked. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure it's not too pinched, too hard. Because if you have too much pressure, sometimes the metal on the back of the crimp will crack and then it will fall off and your crimp won't hold. The other thing is you want to make sure you have a little bit of space between the crimp and the base of the wire protectors. so that way your crimp cover can get in there snugly and fit, and you have space to pinch it down. The other thing is you want to do a pull test just to make sure it's holding before you add any beads to it. So this is a nice tight crimp. It's not going to break or go anywhere. The other thing is weight distribution. So if I'm using really heavy beads, I sometimes will have 2 crimps side by side to just give extra reinforcement to the wire, and then I'll just have a larger spacer bead cover them both. So I've made a necklace that's really heavy. I want to make sure I have crimps that will support the weight of the wire, unless you want to use an actual wire or a fishing line. But anyways, that's how I crimp. So it's going to look like a hamburger. Sorry if you can kind of like that. And you also want to make sure you have just a little bit of space between the end of the wire protectors for your crimp cover to kind of go in there. And then when I'm finished, I cut off the excess wire. So everything's nice and hidden and protected, and then you don't have any sharp edges either. I hope that answers your question. I'm going to cut this off so I can use this again. Okay. So I just thought it would be fun to work with the Crazy Lace Agate because it's a really pretty bead. I like it. And sorry, mix in some citron with it. Again, I know these are kind of fall colors, but if you are into bohemian jewelry, a lot of people like mustard. I think it's a great yellow color, and it works well with turquoise and blues and different color palettes. But I need to order some more supplies. So I'm like, this is what I have for today. And we'll have a really pretty necklace. And if you have any questions on any supplies that you would like to order, feel free to ask or send an email to the Art Beads team as well. And I'm using an 8mm citrus to go with the 10mm mustard. That way you have a little bit of a nice little texture palette here with different colors and sizes. And then I'm using the 11.0 copper glass seed bead. I love seed beads for there's an opal deal of the day today. Oh, that's nice. I'll have to check that out. That sounds pretty. Yeah, this Crazy Lace Agate is really pretty. It has a really nice faucet on it, so it has a little bit of shine and like bling to it on top of the color blend. I think it's really pretty. And then I'm using a copper leaf pendant. So you could use, with this idea, any pendant that you have. But I found this and I thought, oh, the copper leaf works really well with the beads that I'm using. And all right, my copper spacer beads grew legs and walked away. That is all right. Oh, here they are. Sweet. So I'm using some TerraCast spacer beads. If you are a TerraCast fan, just a reminder that Art Beads has TerraCast back in stock, thankfully. They have clasps, charms. They have all kinds of fun things. Just type in TerraCast and you will have the whole menu come up, and the selections, are amazing. They got the clasps in, which TerraCast are my favorite, as well as some charms and some beads. And you spell that TIERRA, like Tierra. And definitely check that out on artbeads.com if you're looking for a clasp assortment. Okay. They have a lot in stock. I was so excited to get TerraCast available again. They also have these amazing wing charms that I've used on a few pieces. So if you're looking for those, just type in wing or feathers, I think works. Those will be brought up for you. And it's so exciting to have those online again. So I'm just mixing in some copper check glass 11.0 seed beads and some citron here, along with the Crazy Lace Agates. And our leaf pendants. And if you're going to use larger stones too, you probably want to use a thicker leather that can support the weight of larger beads. Just in case you're using ones that are heavy, I'd go with a 2mm to 3mm leather. You can still tie the knot on that thick of a leather and be okay. Oh, I'm so glad, Anita. If you have any questions too, you can message me anytime. I'm more than happy to help out. If you would like some more details or if you'd like more practice, more than happy to do that. And I'm almost finished with this part. I'm just going to make sure I have the same amount of beads. Yep, I'm good. Sweet. All right, just line up to make sure it matches, and it does. Yay. So I'm going to crimp this end and then attach it to the leather. So in about a half an hour, you can have a really nice leather necklace for yourself with an adjustable neckline. And if you've ever seen what is that magazine? I think it's Sunset something. Anyways, they have some necklaces with this type of adjustable cording as well. So it's a neat idea for a necklace. And I'm going to crimp this down. And when you're crimping too on the other end, you want to make sure you have a little bit of space on your wire so that way the beads can come up and down. That way it will lay with the nice curve of a necklace, but you don't want to have too much of a wire gap hanging because then you'll have too much wire exposed and your necklace won't hang symmetrical. So when I'm doing this, I just make sure I have enough wire space, one, to hold my crimp cover, and also that the beads will lay flat as a necklace without, if it's too tight, they're going to stack up on each other and then it won't lay flat. So sometimes it's just moving things around a little bit till you get that right spot. On my crimp cover. And I'm using 3mm crimp covers as well. Here we go. And I love crimp covers because they kind of give a nice finished touch, but they also look like a large spacer bead. And I'm going to attach the other side. And thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. I so appreciate you being here on a holiday. It's wonderful to have us together. It's like we're having bead coffee, hanging out, making jewelry, celebrating Christmas. It's fun. Okay, I'm going to close this. All right. So I'm going to get these out of the way here really quick. And that way there's a little bit less stuff hanging around. And here you go. You have a leather necklace with your own adjustable neckline. So if you're wondering how this works, you can make this long enough to where this will slide over your head. Now, if you're not sure, you can add a lobster clasp down here. So that way this is still adjustable, but if you need more space, you have a lobster clasp that you can still take it on and off with. So that's also an option. If you want it like this, you want to have enough leather where this is long enough to put over your head. And then when it's over your head, you can take the two ends and pull it to shorten your necklace. So you have a couple different options based on what you want to do for yourself. So again, if you wanted a lobster clasp, you could open this up. Because some people, let's say you want to give this away as a gift. Close this up. I watched Love Actually. I love that movie. I watched it yesterday. I just love that movie. It's so good. There's so many great parts to it. I love that movie. And I watched The Holiday. My favorite Christmas movie is A Christmas Carol. No, not A Christmas Carol. Sorry. White Christmas with Bing Crosby. Oh, I love the older Christmas movies. That one's really good. So here's the other thing is you can add a lobster clasp on the side and then still maintain the adjustable portion. So that way, on the offhand chance it's going to be too short or something, you can take it on and off here, and then you can still shorten it like this and wear it like this, or pull your leather like so and make it shorter. Just pull on it like this and then bring it down. So I love this idea. Now this also works for bracelets too. You can have a sliding knot for a bracelet. You can also take this and add large hole beads directly to the leather. Artbeads.com has a lot of large hole beads. So this is 1.5. The large holes are usually 2 millimeter. So the large hole beads will go directly onto the leather, and then you can just have your sliding knot in the back and then have a necklace, boom, ready to go with your beads directly on it. So there's lots of fun options that you can do with your sliding knots. And and oh, the Santa Claus movies are cute. And Home Alone, I watched them Home Alone the other day. That's adorable. I think that's a Christmas movie. I know there's a large debate on if certain movies are a Christmas movie or not. Like that one Bruce Willis movie, because they're at a Christmas party. I don't know. Or Elf. A lot of people like the movie Elf. Okay, so like here's a close-up again of the knots. This is what you want your knot to look like when it's finished. And then again, we're going to pull like so. So you pull on the stems of your knots to open and pull on the leather inside to make it larger. So close, open like this. Elf is very funny. And then here you go. I'm going to open this up like this, and you have a finished necklace. Yay! I hope you guys liked today's project. I hope that you learned something new with the sliding knot. If you have any questions, reach out, let me know on Instagram or Facebook. And I'm going to flip my camera on and try this necklace on really quick. All right, cool. Here we go. Yay! Okay, so we have this finished. Here's a close-up of it. It's really pretty. And again, you can pull your leather like so. I'm going to open this up a little bit more and make it longer. And then depending on how you have your leather, you can just put it over your head. Or if you don't want it that long, you just open it on your lobster clasp, put it on, and then here you go. You have a finished necklace. And then if you're like, oh, I want it longer, or you want it short, just go behind where your tails are and pull, and then you can shorten it. Or if you want it longer, just grab your leather and pull it down again. So there you go. I hope you guys learned something new today. If not, that's okay. Thank you for joining me and hanging out with me today on Christmas Eve. It was great. If you are purchasing anything, please close out the cart before the show ends. I'll hang out with you for a minute while you do that. Yeah, I hope you guys like it. This would be a fun Christmas present. You know, if you're going somewhere, you're like, I need a last minute Christmas present. You got some leather. There you go. Yeah, I think it's fun. Sweet. Here's a close-up of it too. I love this crazy lace agate. It's really pretty. It's faceted. It's super sparkly. It's great. Thanks, Anita. And you guys have a great Christmas tomorrow and a wonderful Christmas Eve. And hopefully we'll see you next week. I know Art Beads has a sale going on today again. Use your checkout code for Christmas and save 25% off. And we'll see you next week. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And if you have any questions, reach out anytime. Oh, and also the Facebook group, Serious Beaders. Please join. We love to see what our friends make for jewelry and inspire and encourage each other. And we answer questions there too. And have a great Christmas Eve. See you guys later.